Hey guys, welcome back to my video. I am Carey and this is Carey Digital, the channel for female entrepreneurs who want to monetize their skills online to achieve flexibility and financial freedom. In this video, I'm going to introduce you to Flick.Tech, which is a tool used to find the right hashtags for your content on social media. So if you want to grow your online presence, whether you're just starting out or the foundation was a little shaky, especially as a seasoned entrepreneur, this tool will help you to find the right hashtags for your content on Instagram. It has an awesome analytical tool as well as scheduling tool that you definitely want to utilize and learn more about. So let's jump right into it. Hey guys, so let's dive right into it. So one, you've already selected and identified the type of content you want to create, right? So you've created this content based on your target audience and what they're actively looking for. But now you need to identify the right hashtags so that your content can reach in front of your target audience, whether that is for them to purchase something from you or just to engage with your content, whether you're sharing a personal story or whether you're promoting a service or a product. And the tool that is really useful for this is Flick.Tech. Now, Flick.Tech is perfect because it is specifically for Instagram. And for me, or in my case, and maybe yours as well, is that Instagram is your number one platform of choice for creating content and reaching your ideal audience. And so with Flick.Tech, you can search for the best hashtags or the right hashtags for your content. You can schedule your post using Flick.Tech, and you can also utilize the analytics tool, which is pretty awesome. And I'm going to dive in and show you a little of what that looks like for my content that I've created. All right, so let's dive into it. So on the home page, you're going to see some of the hashtags that I've utilized. And in the lifetime of my Instagram post, I've used over 269 hashtags. But that doesn't mean that these hashtags have been working for me, because like you see, my top performing hashtag is small business owners rock. So that's a top hashtag that I've been using since the lifetime of my Instagram page, right? And then there are also other hashtags that rank really well for me, which are 14 hashtags. And here's the thing with Flick.Tech. So depending on your content, you want to ensure that you are using the right hashtag. So you're not going to use the method of, oh, so my competitor is using these hashtags, it's the best hashtag for me. Definitely not, because it doesn't work. Because one, your competitor might chances have a higher number of followers or even a lower number of followers than you. And so the strategy around creating or utilizing hashtags is going to be greatly different. And I'll show you why. Right? So for me, my target audience are female entrepreneurs who want to build their online presence using tools like Canva. And for this training, we're talking about growing your online presence, and I'm targeting small business owners who are female entrepreneurs. So I have to ensure that I'm using the hashtags that they are looking for and searching for content, and two, that will jump or position my content in front of them on their Instagram feed, reels, stories, that kind of thing, right? So I'm going to show you a content that I recently created and show you also some of the hashtags I utilized, right? And so I'm going to use this one here. And so I've used over 30 hashtags, which is recommended, and it works. And, we can talk about algorithms or whatever, but at the end of the day, once you use the right hashtags, create the content that has value, and you're positioning your content and business at the right time based on your audience needs, it makes life easier with or without an algorithm, right? So I have these hashtags here, and I've literally utilized them based on the type of content that my audience is looking for. Right, so I'm going to show you a quick search. So for instance, I'm going to search or want to utilize a hashtag such as women who hustle hard. Once I type in that hashtag, I'm seeing multiple other hashtags that are similar that I can utilize. However, on Flick.Tech, it categorizes it in 3 levels or 3 competitions. So you have low competition, medium competition, and high competition. And that simply means that these hashtags have different type of traction, right? So if you have a smaller following, like currently I have 1,000 followers on Instagram, it is highly suggested that I use hashtags that can position my content in front of the audience and won't get lost. So normally with a high competition hashtag, chances are my content is going to get lost because so many people are using it and there are so many, different contents that going out. So if I create my content today, probably within the next minute or two, my content will get lost compared to low competition where I will just create or utilize that hashtag, I should say, and then it has a longer durability within the space when persons search, right? And let me give you an idea of what high competition content looks like. So I'm going to select the three dots here. And I have the option of adding it to a collection, which I'll go through quickly, or I can preview it in Instagram. So two things I want to mention, or the first thing I want to mention is always preview the hashtag that you want to utilize and identify if it aligns with your content. So like boss moves now, this is more like you see the type of content here. And does it look and have a similar feel and vibe of the content you're creating? Maybe, maybe not. So for me personally, I probably wouldn't use this hashtag. And then also because it has over 600,000 posts and I have a smaller following on Instagram, chances are it might get lost. So you'll see when I search, you see top posts. So these are this is the content that generally does well with this hashtag. And then you'll see the most recent post here. All right. And then I'm going to show you Love My Biz and what it looks like in Instagram. And this also helps you, as I said, help you to identify if this is the type of content that you want, not content, but the hashtag you want to utilize. So you are seeing here the top post. So we get a general idea of what the top post look like. Does it aesthetically, forgive me for butchering that word, by the way, does it aesthetically matches your content? And does it align with even your audience? So you'd have to go through, look at the content and that kind of thing to make that decision. And that's one of the reasons why you really should not just go through your competitors' posts and copy their hashtags and use it on yours, because chances are your content does not align or looks like the content that your competitor is using, and it just probably just misses the mark for your target audience. All right. So the suggestion is if you have under 1,000 followers, you use mostly the low competition and medium competition hashtags, and you can use one or two of the high competition just to kind of fall in there a bit, but that's the general thing. All right. Then I'm going to show you a collection that I have created and kind of give you an idea of how it works. So some of the hashtags I've used, as you see here, it's 269, right? But then I have some recently ranked hashtags and you can see them here. And as I mentioned earlier, it's also based on my target audience, right? Which is very important. So one, we're going to look at the average likes an hashtag like this receives, the average number of content that is created for the average time content is created using this hashtag, and then also the number of posts that has utilized this hashtag in its entire lifetime. And we're going to look at Girl CEO Society. So we're looking at Girl CEO Society, and what we identify that I have used it once in the entire time for creating content. It has been ranked once, and also the best average rank is 78. So it gives like a ranking of how good it ranks overall, right? And I did a quick sorting, and you'd realize that based on my sorting, hold on, let me do this again. Right. So based on my sorting, the best average rank hashtags for me is Jamaican entrepreneurs, followed by real success. And you can just quickly like graze over the hashtag and you'll see some of the top posts here, right? So you want to bear that in mind for your content, and you also see the competition score and the potential reach, right? So these are things that would dive into. So when you move your cursor over the blue line, it tells you that its potential reach is fairly low, or it's, fairly high, so it gives you an idea of how well your content will perform using the hashtag, right? And as I mentioned, we were looking at, hold on, let me go back. We were looking at the Girl CEO Society as an hashtag. All right, so that is that. So once you've decided on your hashtags, you can literally just create a collection here. And you'll see for my collection, I have different ones. I have female entrepreneurs, grow online presence. And then some of these are just smart filters. So I've created one that says best performing hashtags for me. And then I have Canva users, Canva tip users, and that kind of thing for hashtags. But what I want to dive into also is analytics, and to give an idea of how the analytical tool works. So once you've created your content, it's out there, you position it based on, the value you create into your audience as well as the hashtags. It will give you an idea of how it's performing. I'm going to show you how my latest content has been performing. But hold on, quickly, before I dive into that, you'll see what my reach is like, what my profile activity is like. And if it's not performing to my, standard or what I ideally set out to achieve, then of course the analytical tool helps me to just re-strategize and, come up with a new approach to content creation and publishing. So for my content, you will see that for my latest content, I only had 2 hashtags that ranked well out of the 24, right? But I also get an idea of what the engagement rate is like, what the reach is like. So it's like really good in that sense to get an idea of how it works. And let me just scroll down a bit. So from my previous post that I did, all the hashtags that I utilized, they were not ranked. They were not tracked, but also they did not rank well either, and this gives you an idea. Ranked hashtags, those that are trackable, those that are untrackable. But one of my posts that really, I used a lot of really good hashtags were here. Right. So let me see if I can click this post so you can see what it's like. And this was the one where I was promoting my IG live. All right. And then you can look for how your Instagram post is performing, how the reels is performing, how your story is performing. And it gives you a good feel of which hashtags to utilize and which content is working for you. And what I did here was just an analysis for the last 40 days. And for stories made, I know I've been doing good compared to the previous period. In terms of impressions, that's good. But in terms of completion rate for my stories, it wasn't so well. So it made me realize that, hey, I need to work on improving my engagement for my stories, right? And it's also good to identify if based on the time of day or the type of content, if it connected or not. And then I'm going here again to show you some hashtags. So for my hashtags, it gives me a breakdown of how I ranked. So I've ranked on 13 of the 74 unique hashtags utilized, and it goes down a little more to give me a breakdown. And you'll see that my top performing hashtag is small business owners rock. You see the mid-level performance, and then you see those that are low performance, which means hashtags that are consistently not providing me with results. So already I've utilized so many of these hashtags on so many posts, but they are not performing for me. And already I know that once I'm creating content, I need to change my approach and change the hashtags, right? And that is where the search tool comes in place. So let me go back quickly here to show you something. So for instance, I was using business owners life. Let me just search that here. Business owner life. One of the things you're going to realize is that it's going to suggest other hashtags I could possibly utilize, which will reach a similar audience, right? So right here, I'd use some low competition, medium competition, and high competition. All right, let's go back to analytics and hashtags. So already I have an idea of what is working. It's showing me the data. And of course, I'm going to go here, look at what the competition is like, what my reach is like, how much post is created. And if you're not sure what these mean, you can always move your cursor over here. And the DAPC is, as I said earlier, is the daily average post count, which is the average number of posts made daily using the hashtag. So, right, if you are a small of a small account, you want to be mindful of, how you want to rank and fall in place so your content does not get lost, right? So before I was using so many hashtags that were more in a category of where my content is getting lost, right? Which was not working for me. And I've really re-strategized that approach of late. All right, so let me go back to analytics because I really want you guys to see how amazing the analytical tool is. Also, you're seeing my growth here, right? So you notice from the 5th of August, I had 512, but it has grown to 530 in the space of what is 2 weeks, right? So it tells me my growth rate, which is 4%. It tells me my follower change. And one of the other things I absolutely love is that it tells me the best time for me to post content. So for today, which is the day I'm recording this video, the best time for me to publish content is between the hours of 6 and 7. So these things really work, right? And you can get right. So for the account, you get a general breakdown, like I mentioned earlier, and you see the days for content. So, all of this, as I mentioned earlier, in terms of, identifying your content, the important thing for you is to know what your audience want, be aware of your audience activity, know the frequency at which you want to publish content, and know the best times to publish that content. Because if you realize the same day I publish on a Sunday, the same time I may publish on a Sunday may not be the same time I publish on a Monday or a Tuesday, because as you see here, it is suggested that on a Sunday, I promote content between the hours of 2 and 4. On a Monday, it's between the hours of 10 and 12 a.m. 12. So you have to, know all your data performing, know your audience, create the content that they want, and meet them where they are. And you get a breakdown of the top performing countries, the top performing languages, and so on and so forth. Amazing tool, I tell you. So utilize Flick.Tech to not only identify the right hashtags for you to utilize, but to also understand how your content is performing, if it is providing the value that your audience needs, and then you utilize it to plan, strategize, and create. And I got some notifications here, which was very helpful for me. And it told me for a particular post I made, it told me how I was performing compared to others. All right, so this is Flick.Tech. You can check it out. You can get various packages or features. So you can use a solo growth pro, or if you're an agency, you can use that one. But I am sure that based on our needs here, you'd chances are you use solo or growth, and it all depends on what you want out of this tool. All right, if you have any questions, just feel free to let me know. You can send me an email or you can comment. I am glad to share.